Alright, what up, Jam fam? So, today we're going to be watching Kairos times best and worst brawler for every single rarity video. He just dropped this a couple days ago. I'm just getting around to reacting to it now live on stream here. I'm going to watch it. I'll try to give you guys my opinion on what I think the worst and best of each rarity is, in my opinion, and then I'll see if I agree or disagree with Kairos time. Maybe I'll like his points, maybe I won't, but we'll find out. So, let's get into it. So, let's get into his video. We'll see what he says. As I said, I'm going to give my opinion on what I think the best and the worst brawler for every single rarity is. And then we'll see what he thinks. And I will see if I disagree or agree with it. All right, let's go.
In this video, I'm going to rank every brawler from worst to best, but this is different than my competitive tier list. We're going to be splitting brawlers according to their rarity. Also, the tier list is about like the highest level of comp.
Oh, fun fact. I did not learn what they changed brawlers to. Like, you know how, like, for example, Brock and Bo were Trophy Road Brawlers? I didn't learn what they switched everybody to. So, we're going to have to pause, and I'm going to have to go look that up. All right, so obviously, Shelly's the only starter brawler right here. So, obviously, she has to default to being the best starter brawler, even though she's the only one. I'm going to guess for worst, he's going to probably say it's probably Primo or Nita. I would say worst is probably going to be Primo or Nita. And for best, for me personally, I would put Rosa as the best rare, but I could totally see him putting Poco there. I know Poco got big buffs in terms of like damage and stuff. Obviously, his heal is always great utility. I think that overall, I think Poco would be a solid pick if he puts it at best. But for me personally, I think Rosa would be the best.
She's the best, she's the worst. There's only one starter brawler, so there you go, Shelly.
She defaults.
Brawlers, and at the very bottom, we have Bull. Bull starts out really good.
All right, so he starts out, so he puts Bull at the very bottom. I feel like, I guess because Primo can jump, I guess it's a little bit better than Bull's charge. I think Bull with star powers is very good, but all right, you know, I don't hate it. It is what it is, right?
Next has got to be El Primo. Today, El Primo is about like trying to just stay alive and take as much hits as you can so you can charge up your super, because otherwise it's just too hard to charge a super. But
that's how it is playing tanks now. It's like you absorb the poke damage, you heal up, then you dive in. That's like how tanks are being played lately. At least that's the way I've been doing it.
Next rare brawler is going to be Nita.
Wow, he ranked Nita really high for a rare brawler. I feel like Nita struggles because her range is so short, but I mean, maybe that's just me.
And what I would consider to be the best rare brawler, that's got to be Poco. Like, not even close. Poco got buffed a few updates ago, and I think that he's been...
Yeah, I don't hate Poco. When you have him maxed out, he does like 1100 damage per shot. You can put power gear on him, so he does more. He's got healing, both in his star powers and his super. I mean, Poco brings a lot of utility to a team, so I mean, he's great. And his shot is so wide. It's just like stupid that like you can't miss shots with Poco unless they're outside of unless they're over here. But like if they're anywhere in this, you just auto aim.
Next to the super rare brawlers in the very bottom.
Okay, super rares. So obviously we just ruined the very bottom. He's gonna say Jackie, obviously. Let's jump over. So all right. So my least favorite super rares, the ones that I think are probably the worst, are probably gonna be probably Dynamite, 8-bit. And Gus. I am not a fan of Gus at all. I know it's probably going to be a hot take. I know a lot of people are like kind of Gus fans, and he's a newer brawler, so he's technically kind of good, but I just find Gus really boring to play, and I find him very underwhelming. For my best rare brawlers, I would say my personal favorite is Carl and Daryl. Those two brawlers, every time I play them, I pretty much hard carry.
Bottom has got to be Jackie. Jackie is one of the most basic brawlers in the game.
Jackie on this map is always OP, though. I'm going to say Jackie on Sneaky Fields is stupid strong. I know that Jackie's, like, kind of bad, but you could, like, destroy people with Jackie on Sneaky Fields if you play it right.
And she's incredibly easy to use, so if you were, like, absolutely terrible at the game, like, feel free to play Jackie. But the problem is, once anybody has gotten any amount of skill...
Also, I find Jackie to be a good brawler to play if you're very tilted, because it takes no thought process other than your positioning to play her. So if you're tilted and you need a couple games to reset, switch over to Jackie and just try to get a couple wins in with Jackie, because it kind of like, after you get a couple wins under your belt, it kind of resets your whole thought process.
Up next is Gus. Gus is actually a very competitive brawler.
See, look at that. Look at that. Really low on the list. Number 3 towards the bottom, man.
Up next, we've got Dynamite. Now, if I'm honest,
he put Dynamite over Tick? Are you crazy? Bro, Dynamite, oh my God. What? I mean, I guess Dynamite's a little harder or a little easier to use now that they sped up his Dynamite stick explosions. I get it, but like Tick is just like the definition of toxic and easy to use because all you got to do is spam choke points, and it causes people to like never be able to cross a certain point of the map if you do it right. I mean, Dynamite is good, but he's not as good as Tick. Get out of here with that. Get out of here. Dynamite is not as good as Tick.
I would say the best super rare brawler has
Carl, let's go, my boy.
Brawlers that counter Carl.
Carl is amazing.
Always a safe choice.
Carl has always been one of my favorite brawlers since he was released. He's just so much fun to use. And when he got his flying hook gadget, he got way better. Like you could just it took him into being just like a solid mid-range brawler that did good damage to actually turning him into an assassin if you run this with protective pirouette. And then on top of that, if you just kind of want to do like mid lane control, you can just focus on just your normal attack, and then you can run the fire gadget. I forget what it's called, but yeah, Carl does everything really well and nothing like terribly bad. All right, epics. All right, let's jump over to Brawl. All right, so for me personally, obviously I'm biased. BB's my favorite epic brawler. But if I was gonna say the best for most people, probably gonna be Griff or Pam. I would say Griff or Pam are probably the most solid ones. Pam just does everything really well. She's a lot like Carl in that sense, where she's got a lot of health, she's got good range, she's got good damage, and she can heal. So she has a lot of utility in her kit. Also, Griff is just one of those stupid damage dealers. His super easy. His super is amazingly easy to land. He has an epic gear that gives him higher reload, so you can just pump out more shots. His main attack does stupid amount of damage, and he has a wall break, so you can open up the map. So any tank is basically screwed as soon as a Griff's on the map. And then the worst one, probably going to be Frank or Edgar. Frank or Edgar, they're very matchup dependent.
Starting off at the very bottom is Nani. Now, Nani is not necessarily a...
Did not see him putting Nani at the bottom. That's a little shocking, but all right.
And you have to aim her super the entire time you're using it. She can be amazing in knock.
That is my least favorite thing about Nani, is being stuck in your super for so long. And if you want to do max damage, you got to go hide in the corner, throw your super out, and then do like 9 laps around the map, and then hopefully you land on somebody and you don't hit a wall.
Up next has got to be BB. She has to be really close to enemies in order for you to do something, but the thing is
bro, how you do my girl like that? Come on! And he uses this clown-ass skin. What is this? This skin sucks, bro. BB has so many good skins, man.
Next, we've got Grom. Grom's a little bit different.
Funny fact, hold on real quick. Let's jump over here. Was saying that Grom is the #3 brawler right now. And then on top of that, he was this top 5 brawler in the game right now. Recent projectile speed and damage buff. Make sure your team has counters to mortars, but you're going to dominate. So I think it's funny that he put Grom kind of like mid for epics when, you know, Ash, who's a pretty well-respected coach / high-ranking player in the community, is saying that.
Okay, this might surprise some of you.
What? He put Edgar all the way up here? What happened? Did I miss something, brother? My brother in Christ, what happened? Why is Edgar all the way up here? Is he going to say because Edgar's really good in Showdown and duels is going to be permanent? No. No.
Well, he's a lot of fun to play, and he actually is not that bad if you're playing with people around like 500 trophies-ish, right? But once you start playing against players that do have a little bit of experience, he's really terrible. And
those are all negative things, bro. Those are all negative things. You can play him at low trophies and you'll be really good with him, but once you get up there, forget it, man. Also, competitive players don't use him either. This makes no sense. This seems like a biased pick right here. Like, oh, I'll just throw him right in the middle. So, no, like, I like Edgar. I don't want to put him at the bottom. Like, you put Edgar over BB. At least BB can, like, work when you're hard countered. Like, you can still play around your hard counters with BB. Edgar, he's just destroyed. You have to totally avoid your hard counters.
But the best epic brawler by far has got to be Griff.
Yeah, Griff's great. Super good damage, really good super, can break walls. But I think both his star powers are pretty good. Obviously, keep the changes a little bit better, but super tax or whatever it's called, the other one, the one that heals you, can be useful depending on what map and mode you're playing. All right, let's go over to Mythics real quick. All right, so Mythics. Now, for me, I don't have a ton of experience with Gray. Obviously, I've only pushed him 82 trophies. I can tell you I get annoyed by Gray, by people putting his super underneath me while I'm trying to carry gems or something. Looking at you, Ace. Looking at you, brother. Yeah, for me, I would say Terra is my favorite of the Mythic Brawlers. I think she's great. I think that even if you solo suck a enemy, as long as you kill them, you're gonna like basically 75% way to charge your super back. So I mean, you can just like always win lane once you get one super in hand, basically. Objectively, the best Mythic Brawlers are probably either gonna be Max, Byron, or Jean. For most people, Jean's really good in gem grab. You can just pull people into you and then have your teammates just burst them down. Max is just really good utility. The speed boost is really nice in a mode like Brawl Ball or Heist. And then she does good damage and she's got good range. And then Byron, just like Poco, he adds a lot of utility, but he's a sniper as opposed to just like a general field mid-range brawlers. For the worst, I would definitely say it's Mr. P without a doubt. Mr. P is just bad. Like adding Handle with Care to his main attack was a good call, but I feel like he needs a damage buff to actually be like really competitively viable.
Well, it makes me sad to do this, but Byron has got to be at the very bottom.
What? Did I miss something? Did I miss something that Byron's at the bottom, bro? What happened to Byron? What'd they do to my man Byron? I play him fine.
Next, we've got Mr. P. Mr. P's...
He put Mr. P over Byron. At least Byron has team utility. Mr. P, I mean, Mr. P adds pressure with his spawner, but over healing, especially if you have like tanks on your team. Come on, man. Come on.
Okay, we're doing Mortis here now. Mortis is surprisingly not at the bottom of the.
I don't.
Area,
Yeah,
right?
I dislike Mortis a lot. I don't think that he should be worst here though, because he does hard counter a lot of brawlers. Brock, Piper, any thrower. Like Mortis does a good job when he's useful. He does get hard countered a lot. That's the problem. That's the main problem I have with Mortis, and people overrate him, despite how many hard counters he has.
But the number one Mythic Brawler has got to be Max. Now, I would say this is true competitively.
Max is good.
Average player. Max has enough range.
Max is good. I mean, her super's got great utility. Her star powers are both pretty useful. She does a ton of damage. She's got good range. I mean, like, there's really no drawback to Max. I'm just not good with her personally.
Next, we got...
What are we doing next?
The legendary.
All right, we got Leggies next. Leggies. All right, everybody's favorite rarity, the ones that people are diehard for. 7 legendaries now? Oh, man, I'm getting old. All right, by far and away, the worst one's going to be Meg. Meg is really only good when she's in her super, and that is very much on a timer. The best ones are probably going to be Chester, because he just has stupid damage output right now. My personal favorite's Crow. I think Crow is probably the best, or my favorite of the legendary brawlers.
Got Meg. Poor Meg.
Yeah, Meg at bottom.
Bullied on. Meg is a lot more complicated than the other.
Like I said, she doesn't do a lot. She's got low health. She does like no damage. She's really only good when she's in her super mech, and when she's in that mech, she's on a timer. So I mean, she's kind of tough to play with.
Actually,
I think that if they either buff the health of the big mech, or if they made it so that its health didn't decay quite as quickly, it would definitely make her better, but it could push her into that overpower range. You could balance that out by making it harder to charge. Instead of it being 3 shots to charge, maybe 4 or 5. So you could kind of balance it out that way.
This might be a little controversial, but up next I'm going to put Leon. I say controversial because some people really love Leon a lot and think that Leon is a lot better than I think that Leon.
Leon's another brawler that's a little overrated. I think he's very good. I think he's solid, but I think because Leon was so OP and he's got such a good design, I think people overrate him just a little bit. But, you know, if you know how to play Leon, if you're patient and you don't drive into 3-on-1s, Leon's a very solid brawler. He does good damage up close. You can pick people off with your super as long as you isolate them. Vision gear is wrecked Leon. True. I don't play that high where everybody's running vision, so I don't know.
Starting off the top 3 legendary brawlers.
Wow, he didn't put Chester at number 1. I was for sure he would put Chester number 1. So that means what? Crow's gonna be number 1? If he's not putting Chester at number 1 because of his stupid damage output, maybe he doesn't have enough Chester experience under his belt where he's comfortable putting Chester at number 1. But I think Chester should probably be number 1 right now. But like I said, I do think Chester will fall off once if they nerf his damage.
And the best legendary brawler, in my opinion, is Spike.
Yeah, I mean, Spike's like kind of like a brain dead brawler. Like if you run curveball, you point and aim. If you get close, you're probably gonna land your shot. Like I don't think like Spike is absolutely brain dead. Like you do have to know how to aim a little bit with him, but if you run curveball, it's just very easy. But if you can master his shot without curveball, I would say Fertilizer is the better star power. Anyway, yeah, if you can master his shot without curveball, I would say Fertilizer is actually the better star power because it gives you an extra utility with your super. But if you're a low skill player like me, then you should probably run curveball.
And next we go.
All right, Chromatics, the biggest group. I'm probably going to be way off on this. I think Buster is probably one of the better ones. Otis is definitely a really good. Buzz is my personal favorite Chromatic. for the worst, I'd say it's probably Lou. Lou or Surge. Personally, I find Surge very bad to play. Like, Surge feels bad to play, even if you run his Served Ice Cold Star power. Because, like, he's so bad when you start out a match when you're at power rank 0. And even when you don't have your range buff, he still feels bad. So, like, I'm not a huge fan of Surge personally. Lou, I've never liked. He's my least favorite brawler in the entire game. I hate Lou. And also, he has the worst voice lines. Like, it's so annoying. I don't like Lou at all.
We've got the Chromatic Brawlers, and kicking us off at the bottom is Colette. Colette's main attack has a fast projectile speed, so they're very easy to land, but the damage that she deals can't.
I don't disagree with Colette being the worst. She doesn't add, I mean, like, she does good damage to tanks and stuff, but, like, against, like, snipers and stuff, she struggles.
Next, we got Colonel Ruffs. Ruffs is another support brawler.
Wow, really?
So
Ruffs?
know what you were doing.
I remember Ruffs when he got his damage buff was, like, super OP. That's weird, man. I mean,
really simple.
I will say he's right, though, with Ruffs. With randoms, Ruffs is really bad because they die way too much, so you can't give them the dog treat. So you're better off picking it up yourself and then just using it as a big bonus attack and using it to gate people off when you play with randoms specifically.
Next, we've got Lola. Lola's attack is pretty basic, but it deals...
Lola's stupid OP. Like, I've always thought Lola was even good. Even after her nerf where they put the area of effect down to nerf your clone damage, I just always found Lola, like, super good. Obviously, she's got a skill cap where you could throw your clone out here and then aim and use your clone as, like, a detachment from you, which is, you know, really good. But for most people, you're just going to drop it right at your feet, and she's going to be really good.
Got Buster. Buster is very...
Buster's stupid strong. Like, I know they just nerfed him, so, like, he's not as, like, he's not super, super OP like he was, but... When I pushed Buster, I was like, dude, this isn't even fun. Like, he's so broken, it's not even fun. And I was playing him today, and he's still very good. But yeah, at least on release, he was so strong, it wasn't even fun to play him.
Number 1 has got to be Janet.
Wow, I didn't see that. Janet being number 1. I guess, like, her supers got good utility. She can do okay damage. She's got very good range when you charge up her attack. I don't love the gadget that backs you out after your attack. I don't love that, but whatever. I feel like the turret's a little bit better, but I guess yeah, she doesn't really have any, like, super hard counters. She does a lot very well. She's a pretty well-rounded brawler, I guess.
Is the best Chromatic Brawler. And there you have every brawler ranked from worst to best. Make sure you guys grab that screenshot, and don't forget that Shelly is at the very bottom. I don't have space for her, so.
Overall, I think it's an okay list. I mean, like, I don't agree with everything, obviously. Like, that's part of doing the react here, but I don't think... And he wasn't trying to make, like, a competitive tier list. That wasn't the goal of this. It was kind of... I feel like he made a list of his favorite brawlers and then just said it was best to worst. I don't understand, like, there's a lot of questionable picks, like Bo over these three here, over B, Pam, Piper. There's a lot of questionable. I know Byron's not, like, the most popular brawler, but, like, I feel like Byron being under Mr. P is, like, just a travesty. Like that's not fair. But so overall, I think it's an okay list, but I do feel like he made a tier of his favorite lists, or of his favorite brawlers for each rarity, and he just titled it ranking every brawler worst to best by rarity. I guess what I'm trying to say is, how do you define worst and best? Because it doesn't seem like there's a ton of consistency. Anyway, that's gonna do it. Let me know what you guys think about the tier list that Kairos made. Let me know what you guys think about my favorite picks and all that stuff like that. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you leave a like and subscribe to the channel. And with all that out of the way, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.